Hey guys, and welcome back to another Photoshop tutorial. Today we're going to be trying to clear up the skin in this model, on this model's face. We're going to be using this as an example, and if that doesn't go too well, we will also be using this image, which you may recognize from our previous video or one of our most recent videos, which is how to sharpen the image. So go ahead and check that out down below. But that's what we're going to be doing today. If you guys do enjoy these tutorials, it would be awesome and really great to us if you could subscribe. If you do want to see more videos like this, we are going to be trying to post a lot more often this month, so go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to see more of those videos. Also, it'd be great if you could go check out our website. I will have a free sharpen action that you saw in the last video that is up on our website. The download link will be on that video if you want to go check it out. But this is our website. If you want to go access it, just come onto Photoshop, scroll down to actions, and it will be up there. Now, it would also be great if you could go check out some of our other products on our website, just some of these preset packs here. But without wanting to go over that too much, let's get started on today's video. So the plan is we're going to go in and we're going to try and sort out some of these little lumps and bumps in the skin. Obviously this image has been edited previously, you can see that, but I just gone ahead onto unsplash.com and I've downloaded this image just as an example so we can try ahead and mess around with this together. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just import our image into Photoshop. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is I like to go into Camera Raw. Now you can do that by going to Filter and click on Camera Raw, or you can press the shortcut which is Shift-Command-A on Mac. And all that's going to do is bring up this editor style thing that looks a lot like Adobe Lightroom if you do use that. So we're going to come over to these two triangles that says Detail. Now, first thing we want to do is come down to Noise Reduction. Actually, I'm just going to zoom in just on the head here so we can really see what we're doing. And we're going to click on luminance and we're going to drag that up just to start off with right up to 40% and see what the computer does there. And the idea is that luminance is used for noise reduction, and what that will do is it will sort of clear away any of the noise in the image. Now it will also flatten the image and make it look like it's sort of been melted. So I'm just going to go ahead and just whack that all the way up to 100% just to see what it does to this image. Now it's done a slight difference here. You can see it'll look better when I show you the before and after. On your image 100% may be too much. Usually 100% is far too much on one image. But if I press the before, turn that off, and the after, you can see already we've started to smooth out some of this face, some of the noise that's been introduced as well. Now obviously we don't want to have that over the whole image, we want to make sure the eyes are still in focus. So I'm going to come down here onto the mask tool, press that, make sure we're on our brush tool by pressing B or selecting up here, and black is our foreground colour. We're going to decrease the size of the brush by pressing the open square bracket, or you could come up here and decrease it here, but make sure your hardness is on around about 0%. And we're just going to paint away where the eyes are, just to kind of make sure we keep the detail in the eyes and also on the lips, because those are the things that are really in focus in this image. We can also come into the eyebrows as well and just paint those back in, just to make sure that we've actually got the focus of the image is actually still clear to the eye and we've not lost too much detail there. Okay, so if I press the before and the after, if you just look up here, you can see that we've lost some of the noise in the image. Next thing I think is fun to try and do is come down to the dodge and burn tool, which is this little magnifying glass looking thing here. If you press Control click on your keyboard, you can see dodge tool is there. And if I press the close square bracket again, we can increase the size of that brush. And all really the dodge and burn tool does is if you click up here, you can click shadows, midtones or highlights. I like just messing around with midtones, and you can put the exposure value on whatever suits you best. But if you draw on the image, you want to make sure you're on this layer here. If you draw on the image, you can see it brightens parts of the image. So you want to go over the parts of the image that are actually lighter, and you just want to make sure that you're accentuating that light on the image. And what it's going to do is give the face a nicer contour and really bring out the features on the face. I may have overdone it here with the exposure, so you may want to come back in and just reduce that to about 30–40%, just so you're not making the face too bright, but you can just mess around here and really just think about where the light is coming from. So the light in this image is coming from the top right, it's sort of shining down, reflecting off the forehead here, and it's also bouncing off the nose and the cheekbones on both sides. So we're really just making sure that the image kind of has a nice contoured look, and we're just working on this face. So I'm just going over the natural highlights that have been placed on the image, and we're just going to increase those and make them look a little bit more obvious. Okay, so once we've done that, the next thing you can do is press Alt on your keyboard and you can continue painting, and you can see we're now on the burn tool, which basically makes the image darker when you paint. So I'm just going to paint in the dark parts of the image here, so around the eyes, especially underneath those those cheekbones, just to really introduce a lot more contour into the face. Usually you don't want to do too much. I don't really use it too much, but you can. I'm going to kind of go over the top a little bit here so you can see what I'm talking about, how much of a difference it makes to the overall image. But it really does help to bring out the features in the face, those contours, and just really kind of make a good look, especially if you're doing model photography. So that's probably all we want to do here. And I'm just going to zoom out to about here, and I'm going to show you the before and the after. So if I turn off this layer here, that's what we look like before, and that's what we look like after. Now, basically the look you're kind of getting right now is a very airbrushed look, like she's kind of had a lot of makeup put on and a very over-the-top airbrushed look. But you can see by doing that, we've actually removed an awful lot of those sort of little spots or imperfections in the skin. Nothing too major, but what we've done is just gone ahead by brightening up those layers and using the noise reduction, we've actually smoothed out the skin an awful lot. Now you may find that what's happened is we've definitely overdone some of the highlights here, so you can either press Alt on your keyboard and just go back over these highlights just to take away some of that brightness that we put on there. But you can see if I press the previous and then the new, we can really see the difference that has made, especially in the contours in her face. Now, like I said, we have overdone it a little bit, but it's quite fun to mess around with and just sort of see what you can do using the dodge and burn tool. A lot of people forget about the dodge and burn tool in Photoshop, but it really does help bring out those features in the face. So we can either leave it there, we're pretty much done with sort of sorting out the face. What you can do is you can come into here and use the clone stamp tool. I think it might be better to demonstrate on this image, because we've got some moles and some more spots. But what the clone stamp tool can do is go ahead and remove those imperfections in the skin and replace them with another area of skin that is a lot more smoother. So for example, here we've got this spot here on the cheek, and also a couple down here. Now, depending on whether you want to keep those in the image just to make it look more realistic, if it's a nice feature on someone's face, then maybe you want to keep it. But if it's not, come over to this tool here, which is the clone stamp tool. You can press S on your keyboard as a quick shortcut. Again, I'm just going to duplicate that layer by pressing Command J, and we're going to work on the top layer here. We're going to press open bracket on our keyboard, that's the open square bracket, just to decrease the size of that brush, and we're going to select Alt on our keyboard on an area of skin near to that spot or mole, but we're going to select an area of skin that isn't actually too bad, that hasn't got any imperfections on it, and we're just going to select Alt, click on that spot, and then drag our brush over the little area that we want to place, and just brush over it. So you can see what it's done is it's gone ahead and cloned that area that I selected, and it's drawn it over there. Now you can see that actually it's slightly obvious what it's done, so we're going to have to choose another area. We'll probably select here because it's of the same sort of skin color, and we're just going to paint over it like that, and you can see it's removed it in one click. Again, this one on the forehead, we can do the same. Press Alt on our keyboard, select there. Oops, I seem to have screwed that up. So we're just going to paint over that one again. We're going to press Alt on our keyboard again, just click here, and we're then going to paint over this spot, and we can also do it over this little dent here. There's one up here as well, and if you just keep on clicking, you can see it will continue to edit. And what it does is it moves the selection. So if I select here, for example, and then paint here, then if I come up to paint off this area, the selection will be basically around about here. So the selection does sort of follow that little brush tool. So you will want to make sure occasionally, sometimes you want to come in and just readjust that and just paint again, just to make it a little bit more accurate. Now my computer is lagging a little bit, it's having trouble sort of multitasking here, but you can kind of see how this does help. You can really see how we can use this to our advantage. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of all of those there, because I think we can probably do a better job if we start again. So press Alt on your keyboard and then press to basically remove that imperfection, and then again we'll try here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to work through some of these, and we're just going to show you the before and after so we can really see how much difference this can make, especially with just removing those really big annoying imperfections in the skin that we would much prefer not to be there for our photo. Okay, so if I turn off this layer now, you can see the face beforehand with all of these little spots and things here, and if I turn it back on again, you can see how we've removed all of those areas there. So it really is quite a powerful tool for smoothing out the skin. So that's it probably for today's video. I don't want to go on about this too much, but there are some other tools we can use, and I can do a follow-up video on this in the future. But if you guys want to go ahead, do that. It'd be great if you could let us know in the comments section how you guys found it. We're really interested to hear how you guys are doing. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to go ahead and check out some of our other videos, that would be really great. We've got lots of color grading stuff. We're bringing out more Photoshop stuff in the coming few weeks. So it'd be great if you could subscribe and smash a thumbs up if this tutorial was useful for you. So we'll see you in the next video. Live long and prosper.